Hello everyone, my name is Zoe, and in this video I am going to be talking about how to dance to complex rhythms in Middle Eastern music. So first of all, what do I mean by complex rhythms? Basically, I'm talking about any rhythm that isn't in 2, 3, or 4. So when we talk about rhythms in general, one of the important characteristics of the rhythm is how many beats to a measure there are, right? So we have, say, a very basic rhythm, the malfouf rhythm. In Middle Eastern dance, it goes doom, tek, tek, doom, tek, tek, doom, tek, tek, 1, 2, 1, 2, doom, tek, tek, doom, tek, tek. So this rhythm is in 2. Therefore, it is a simple rhythm. You might have a rhythm in 3, like a very common example is the waltz, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then rhythms in 4, there's a ton, like all of the Maksum, Baladi, Saidi family, doom tek, tek, doom tek, 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 1, 2, 3, 4. That's rhythm in 4. So those are all rhythms we're not going to be talking about today, but just to give you some background on what I mean by complex rhythm. I mean rhythms that would be 6 beats to a measure, 8 beats. In Middle Eastern music, we have 5, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, basically going up to, I think you can even have rhythms of like 60 something to a measure. We're not going to deal with those rhythms. But basically, any of these bigger rhythms are what I will call complex, or you could also think of them as compound rhythms. We'll get into that in a bit. So we are going to talk about how to recognize these rhythms, figure out what they are, because some of them are quite rare or rhythms you might not have encountered so much. And once we have kind of figured out what the rhythm is, how to analyze it, how we can then dance it. Yeah? So there is a kind of framework or a process that I would recommend you use if you are, first of all, trying to figure out what a rhythm is. So you've heard some beautiful piece of Middle Eastern music. You want to dance to it, and maybe you've studied your rhythms, and you know a lot of these basic rhythms, but there's at least a section of the song that has some rhythm that you don't know what it is. It's not familiar to you. It's not one of those basic ones. How can you figure out what rhythm it is? Okay. Step 1. You're going to listen a lot, and you want to try to hear where the 1 is. And luckily, in Middle Eastern music, there's almost always going to be a big doom on that 1. So, right, so when we talk about our rhythms, we divide the percussion into dooms and teks. Like I said, Maksum, we had that doom tek, tek, doom tek, right? So listen for that doom at the beginning. So go through the music. You might have to listen to it a lot. Like I said, figure out where that doom is. Okay, once you have the doom, then what you need to do is count. Figure out how many beats there are from that first doom to the next one. So let's just use a really simple example here. I'm gonna sing kind of the beginning of Alf Lela Wa Lela, very, very famous song. So this goes like dun 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 da 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 dun 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 da 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 da. So you hear that dun, right? That's the 1. So you got that. Now you're just gonna count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, 8. So now we know there are 8 beats to a measure in that particular rhythm, which is a 3-doom masmudi, but we'll get into that later. So again, there could be 8. You might be lucky. 8 is more common and a little bit easier to deal with, but it could also be something really weird. So if you want, I'm going to put on some music here, And this is going to be a difficult one. So this is a little test. I'm going to put on some music, and I want you to listen to this music and try to figure out, first of all, where the doom is, and second of all, how many beats are in a measure. Okay, so you can go back, listen to it as many times as you want. It's not going to be a simple rhythm. So let's try that out. So did you get how many beats were in that measure? So that music had 13 beats to a measure. It's one of my favorite rhythms. It's from a very famous song, actually, El Hob Kullu, very classic Kulthum song that actually has this very weird rhythm in it. So these are not just some weird abstract concept that you're never going to need to know. You will find these rhythms in popular music. So, okay, that was step 2, right? We now know there are 13 beats to a measure, or however many in your rhythm. The next step is, I would recommend writing this down. So like if you know there's 13, you can write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, blah, 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 up to 13. And then write where the dooms are. So usually we have that there's the doom on the 1. But the next thing to do is listen to the music. Again, try to focus really just on the rhythm, on the percussion, and try to kind of ignore all the rest of the melody going around. Although the melody can sometimes help a bit, but for this part, you really want to focus. Just try to listen and hear where are the dooms and write them down. So if you want, you can pause the video, go back to that same music. I can also link to the music below. And you can just try this on your own, or try this with some other song. And try to write where the dooms are. Okay? Okay, so what did you have for the dooms? So if we listen to this rhythm, again, this is kind of difficult, but it's going doom, tack, doom, 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 tack. So, okay, I've moved ahead kind of to step 4, which would be to write down where the texts are. So just forget about those texts. But let's just think about those dooms. We had doom, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. Doom on 7, 8. Doom, doom, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So the dooms in that particular rhythm, we would write for 1, 7, 9, and 10. Yeah, that's right. That's a complicated rhythm. And then the next step that I kind of already got ahead of myself is figuring out where the texts are. So again, you can go back, listen to that music, and write down where the texts are. Okay? So, if you got it, great. If not, doesn't matter. Here we have it all written out, and a lot of these rhythms you can look up and see them written out anyways. So we had doom, 2, 3, tack. So there's a tack on the 4. So we would write a T under our 4. Tack. 6. Doom, 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 tack on 11. 11, 12, 13. So actually we just have a tack on 4 and 11, and that's it. So now we have our whole schema with the dooms and the tacks, and of course the spaces where nothing is, which are very important. So it would all look like doom, 2, 3, tack, 2, 3, doom, 2, doom, doom, tack, 2, 3, doom. Okay, so it's good. If you're a visual person, definitely I think it's good to have it kind of written out in front of you. You can see really the spaces, see how the rhythm is structured. And that now is going to get us to step 5, which is going to be very important for our dancing to these rhythms. And that is to subdivide the rhythm. So before I talked about simple rhythms, being rhythms that are built of 2, 3, or 4 beats in the measure. So what we want to do is we want to group this complex rhythm down into simple groups of 2, 3, or 4. No more than 4. Yeah? And how do we group them? It's part intuition. I mean, a lot of times you just feel it, but there are kind of rules. So like, you're not going to start a group on a space. You're going to start a group where you either have a doom or a tek. And it's kind of the heaviest element is usually going to be at the beginning of a group. So in this case, in this Zarafat rhythm, we have doom, space, space, doom, SS. So that's a group of 3. And then we have tek, SS, and that's another group of 3. So we already have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then we have doom, S, doom, doom, tek, 2, 3. So how are we going to group that? So I would do it doom S as a group of 2, and then doom doom as another group of 2. Some people might do that as a group of 4. It's kind of, it depends on the music. In this particular piece of music, I would do it as doom, doom, doom. 1, 2, 2, 2. So 2 groups of 2. So we have 3, 3, 2, 2, and then tek, S, S. So 3, 3, tek, 2, 3. So that's all it is. It's doom, 2, 3, tek, 2, 3, doom, 2, doom, doom, tek, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. It really helps to like count these things, sing them, clap along to really get the rhythm in your body as well. So I definitely recommend doing that with especially these weirder rhythms. So again, doom, 2, 3, tek, 2, 3, doom, 2, doom, doom, tek, 2, 3. So it's this really weird rhythm. It's like 13/8, but now we've broken it down into something that is simple and manageable, right? 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And now, finally, we can dance it because we have those subdivisions. So when you've gone through all those steps, now we can just make a little combination. I'm going to make a really simple combination here. It's really not hard, but if you just try to jump into this music and just try to dance to it without these steps beforehand, probably you're going to get lost because, it's a rhythm we're not used to. So here's what I'm going to do. Because the music is kind of long and swayy, I'm going to do, for these first 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, I'm just going to do a nice lean here. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's all. Doom, 2, 3, tek, 2, 3. And now on this 1, 2, and then 1, 2, I'm going to do doom. Because remember we had doom, S. So I'm going to do a hip bump to the side, which is now the front. And then on this doom, doom, I'm going to do 2 bumps to the back. Doom, doom. Yeah, so again, doom, S, doom, doom. So again, from the beginning. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. And then I'm just going to cross, tek, and turn 2, 3. And I'm ready to go on the other side. So let's try that on the other side. Doom, 2, 3, tek, 2, 3. Doom, 2, doom, doom, tek, 2, 3. Again, doom, 2, 3, tek, 2, 3. Doom, 2, doom, doom, tek, 2, 3. Doom, 2, 3, tek, 2, 3. Doom, 2, doom, doom, tek, 2, 3. And that's it. So there we just made a really simple little combination to a complicated rhythm. And you can follow these exact same steps for other rhythms. Let's put on that music now and dance to it using our little combination. Okay, so now you just danced to a very complicated rhythm that, again, it's called Zarafat, that rhythm, in 13/8. And yeah, maybe you're not going to see such complicated rhythms most of the time, but there are lots of rhythms in weird time signatures and even the rhythms that are just in 8/8. Again, there are different ways to subdivide. It might be 3/3/2, it might be, 2/2/2/2 or 3/2/3. So you want to follow those steps again to analyze the rhythm. I'm just going to summarize. So number 1 was find the 1, which is usually a doom. Number 2 is figure out how many beats are in the measure by counting. Number 3, find all the other dooms. Find all the dooms. Number 4, find the text. And then number 5, subdivide, group your complex rhythm into little groups of 2, 3, or 4 beats. And then number 6 is then find the movements to dance to those subdivisions that you've made. And for another thing with complex rhythms like this, these longer rhythms, usually in the combinations, it involves a lot of moving around. Not necessarily, but quite often, because these rhythms often have a lot of space in them. So we want to show that in our dancing. So I really hope that this video was helpful for you. I think it's a topic that I don't see talked about very much. So I really wanted to make this video to help people kind of go beyond that basic like Maksum, Belody, same things we always do. Because there's so much more in Middle Eastern music. The music is so rich. There is so much to learn and discover. And I hope that this video inspires you to go out and listen to some of that more interesting, rich music and make your own dances to it. So if you found this video helpful, please do give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Share with anyone you think might also find this interesting. Thank you so much for watching and happy practicing.